Update: see Selena Quintanilla and Daniel Craig episode 77. Selena Quintanilla see Daniel Craig and Friday see Selena Quintanilla SQ124. Hey James Bond Daniel Craig see all see enemy see Team US gang now Daniel Craig.
Okay, Lee Sadu see died see enemy see Team US gang now Lee Sadu.
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't actually have any announcements at the top, but but because today marks my last briefing, I hope you'll indulge me a couple of personal thoughts before I go.
Your last names, but that's about it. I'm Peyton, that's my wife Mary, and this is I Say, You Say, where left is right and right is wrong.
Or where east meets west, and the west always wins. That wall came down, darling.
Yes, unfortunately it did. I don't know if you saw today's news, so who is in the right in this great dialectical disaster? Is it, as I think, a case of share and share alike, love your fellow man and all wear matching jumpsuits while working on a collective hydroponic farm growing potatoes, or kill or be killed, crush the weak, and starve the poor, as my wonderful wife thinks? You decide, or let us decide for you. Give us a call, and let my wife, a professor in social Darwinism, or me, lecturer in pointless anthropology, work things out.
That's the problem with liberals. They don't know when to shut up and enjoy freedom. Let's go to the phones.
Yeah, hi. Here's the deal. I'm really funny, but nobody wants to hire somebody funny. I mean, how is that fair? I mean, I'm white, middle class, very erudite, whatever that means, but people just respond badly to me. I don't understand it.
Are you related to my husband?
I don't think so.
I hope not. Have you got a question about politics?
Yeah, sure. I know a lot about politics. Hey, can I do your job? I used to be on the radio back in the day.
Even my husband can't do his job, you strange, pathetic little sap. Let's have a real caller, please.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm a first-time caller to the show. I wanted to know what you guys thought about the proposition to ban smoking.
Well, this is a simple issue. Smoking. Democracy at work again in our state. Seems like a good thing when you first look at it, but democracy only works.
Go to your questions. As I prepared to stand here at this podium for the last time, I thought a lot about the first time. It was 16 years ago, this week. It was January 2001. I had just moved to Washington, D.C., and I got on a West Wing tour with a friend of a friend. We walked through the halls of the West Wing on that tour. We saw tired White House staffers lugging boxes of their personal belongings out of the building, much the way that people who are on West Wing tours today see. And on the tour, I smiled for a photo that a friend took of me standing behind this very podium. I had been in D.C. for a grand total of 2 weeks. I had no contacts. I had no job prospects. I had no relevant Washington experience. I was sleeping on the floor of a college buddy's apartment that had a spare bedroom. And by spare, I don't just mean it was an extra bedroom. It was an empty bedroom containing only the items that I'd managed to load into my car when I moved here from Texas. So it's fair to say that there weren't too many other people on the tour that night who thought I would stand here in front of you as something other than a tourist. So it's been an extraordinary journey, and this has been an extraordinary chapter. This is the 354th White House daily briefing that I have led as the press secretary. Mark can check me on that number. Not every briefing started exactly on time. There might have been a briefing or two that went a little longer than you would have preferred. But you have to admit, there was a lot to discuss. We had plenty of shameless plugs for the Kansas City Royals to squeeze in. There was, of course, the Freedom Caucus's infamous Tortilla Coast gambit. There was Congressman Steve Scalise, who reportedly compared himself favorably to David Duke. There was the reintroduction of the word snafu into the political lexicon as we were working to pass TPA. We discussed at length the various ways you can catch Zika, the various ways you can catch Ebola, and the various reasons scientists recommend you vaccinate your kids so that you don't catch the measles. Jon Stewart lit me up as I struggled to explain to John Carl why a couple of our political ambassadors for some reason had no idea what they were doing. At least the Stewart segment made some of my friends laugh. President-elect Trump, of course, took advantage of the opportunity to light me up as a foolish guy who makes even the good news sound bad. And I have to admit that even that one made me laugh. But it wasn't always fun and games around here. There was the time that I tangled with Senator Schumer about DHS funding for New York City, and the time that I tangled with Senator Schumer over the Iran deal, and the time that I tangled with Senator Schumer over the JASTA legislation, and the time I tangled with Senator Schumer over the wisdom of passing Obamacare, and the time I tangled with Senator Schumer over Trade Promotion Authority legislation. And to think, we actually spent most of the last 2.5 years complaining about how unreasonable Republicans in Congress are. The daily briefing, of course, is the most high-profile part of the press secretary's job, but it's not the only part that matters. The more important part, in many ways, is working with all of you and ensuring that the freedom of the press, that keeps this democracy vital. When I first entered this role, I worked closely with the White House Travel Office and the Department of Defense to reform the billing process for your flights in military aircraft, including Air Force One, making those bills more transparent and smaller. In the last 2.5 years, we've cajoled governments in China, Ethiopia, and Cuba to host news conferences on their soil, allowing the leaders of those countries and their citizens to see firsthand what it means for independent journalists to hold those in power accountable. Of course, it was the end of the year news conference that the president convened in this room in 2014 that got as much attention as any other, because President Obama called on 8 journalists, all women. And finally, everything that about this final week makes me think of all the incredible people whom I've been blessed to work with these past 8 years. I only have this opportunity because Robert Gibbs pulled me aside on election night 2008 in Chicago as the returns were coming in to tell me that he wanted me to come work with him at the White House. I'm only here because Jay Carney, Jennifer Palmieri, and Dan Pfeiffer supported and encouraged me when I was the deputy and advocated for me when Jay stepped down. I've also benefited from a kitchen cabinet of senior White House officials who've got a lot of other important responsibilities who are part of their formal job description, but stepped in to help me out every time I asked for it. That's people like Dennis McDonough and Susan Rice and Jennifer Psaki, Liz Allen, Jesse Lee, Cody Keenan, and of course Ben Rhodes. And I've only been able to do this job because I have an incredible team around me. My assistants over the years, Jeff Tiller, Antoinette Rangel, and now Desiree Barnes, all patiently supported a guy who, let's face it, sometimes isn't so easy to assist. The White House stenographers, Dominique Dansky-Berry, Beck Dory Stein, Amy Sands, Mike McCormick, Caitlin Young, and their tireless leader, Peggy Suntum. They work as hard as anybody at the White House and complain about it less than anybody at the White House. Applause is appropriate at that point. I think the only team that may contend with them might be the research department here at the White House that's led by Alex Plotkin and Kristen Bartoloni. But I hope you'll get a chance over the course of the next week to thank the stenographers for their important work, because I know they make your lives a lot easier too. The same goes for Peter Vels, Brian Gabriel, and Sarah Rutherford, who are stretched as thin and who are at least as effective as any team of press wranglers we've ever had here at the White House. My colleagues at the NSC, including Ned Price, Emily Horn, Mark Stroh, Carl Woog, and Du Tiantawat, patiently explained to me things that I didn't know so that I could in turn explain them to you. My team in lower press, Patrick Rodenbush, Katie Hill, and Brandy Hoffine, is as talented and as dedicated as any press team in this town. I begged Brandy to join this team when I first got this job, and her performance has far exceeded the sky-high recommendations I got from people all over town after I interviewed her. They are all, Katie, Brandy, and Patrick, as they say, going places. Eric Schultz is simply the best deputy that anyone in any field could ask for. He shows up early, he stays late, he's deft. That's an inside joke. He's always prepared, he's unfailingly loyal. His judgment is sought after throughout the halls of the White House, not just by me, but by various members of the senior staff. And I'm sure that will be sought after in his bright post-White House future too, including by me. When you're President of the United States, and widely regarded as among the most thoughtful and eloquent speakers on the planet, it must be hard to watch someone go on TV and speak for you. I suspect that's why when the president offered me this job, he said he wouldn't watch my briefings. But I know that he saw parts of them on those very rare occasions that he watched cable TV. And he never second-guessed me, not once. He didn't just give me the opportunity of a lifetime, he had my back every single day, and I'm grateful for it. But there is one person who contributed to my success more than anyone else, and she doesn't even work at the White House. My wife, Natalie, was 6 months pregnant with our first child when I got this job. She was home with the air conditioning repairman when the President of the United States called me into the Oval Office to offer me the job. When I got back to my desk, I saw that I had several missed calls on my cell phone from her. I quickly called her back. I told her that I was sorry that I missed her calls, but that I had the best possible excuse for missing them. Since then, she's extended to me more support and understanding than I could ever ask for, even as she was becoming the best mom any 2-year-old kid could hope for. When I missed the mark up here, she didn't hesitate to tell me about it. And when I got it right the next day, it was usually because I followed her advice. So thank you, sweetheart, for your patience, your loyalty, your counsel, and your love. Without it, I would not be standing here, and I'll never be able to make it up to you, but I look forward to spending some more time with you in Walker so that I can give it a shot. Serving as the White House press secretary under President Obama has been an incredible honor. I've had the opportunity to advocate for his vision of the country, the same vision that deeply resonated with me when I signed up to work for him in Iowa in March 2007. And while those of us who have been fortunate enough to serve him here will go on to make a difference in new ways, I take heart in knowing that all of you will still be here. I draw confidence in knowing that you are driven by the same spirit that prompted those young kids that I mentioned at the top of my briefing a couple of weeks ago to move to an Iowa town that they'd never heard of to organize support for the Obama campaign. You have the same determination as the young people who are moving to Washington, D.C. today with no job, with no contacts, and no prospects, who are hoping to work in the Trump administration. You're motivated in the same way as the career civil servants, like the ones at the Department of Education, who's trying to stretch her agency's budget to ensure as many Hispanic kids as possible can get a decent education. You have so much in common with these people because each of you and what you do every day is critical to the success of our democracy. There will be days when you'll show up to work tired. I know the same was true of those Obama organizers in Iowa. There will be days where you will feel disrespected. And I know many of the young Republican staffers who move to Washington looking for a job will feel that way at times. It's hard to pound the pavement in this town when you don't know anybody. There'll be days where you will wonder if what you're doing even makes a difference. And I know that our civil servants sometimes wonder the same thing. But I assure you, if you, the most talented, experienced, effective press corps in the world, didn't play your part in our democracy, we would all notice. Your passion for your work and its centrality to the success of our democracy is a uniquely American feature of our government. It's made President Obama a better president and a better public servant. And it's because you persevere and you never go easy on us. So even though it's my last day, you better not let up now. So in that spirit, let me say for the last time standing up here, Josh, you want to get started with questions?
Sure. Thanks, Josh.
I'm not interrupting because he was saying nice things about you guys, because I largely concur. When I first met Josh Earnest, he was in Iowa. I think he was wearing jeans. He looked even younger than he was. And since my entire campaign depended on communications in Iowa, I gave him a pretty good once-over. And there are a couple things I learned about him right away. Number one, you know, he's just got that all-American matinee good-looking thing going. That's helpful, let's face it. Face made for television. Then the guy's name is Josh Earnest, which, if somebody's speaking on your behalf, is a pretty good name to have. But what struck me most, in addition to his smarts and his maturity and his actual interest in the issues, was his integrity. You know, there are people you meet who you have a pretty good inkling right off the bat are straight shooters and were raised to be fundamentally honest and to treat people with respect. And there are times where that first impression turns out to be wrong, and you're a little disappointed, and you see behind the curtain that there's spin and some hype and posturing going on. But then there's others who, the longer you know them, the better you know them, the more time you spend with them, the more you're tested under tough situations, the more that initial impression is confirmed. And I have now known this guy for 10 years almost.
Hello, Odette C. Eva Green C. Frampton Queen C. Holy Week C. Selena Quintanilla and C. Daniel Craig C. Ariana Grande now Odette. Thank you, Lisa to C. Ariana Grande and Frampton Queen C. Eva Green C. Casino Royale 007 C. James Bond C. Pierce Brosnan C. Golden I. C. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and next C. Dragons Kale Queen now Lisa do. Thank you, Odette Love C. Jillian Ward and Firecracker Ward and Queen Fatal and Anna Williams and Zed and Zeri and Quinton and Roseanne Park and Mama Pekka and Rio Ripley and Piper now Odette. See you next time, Lisa to see Selena Quintanilla, see Daniel Craig and Ariana Grande. Hello, Valkyrie Spin C. Update C. Clan War League C. Update C. Iran C. Ali Khamenei died 86 years C. Assassinated C. Update C. Israel and USA C. Donald Trump now Valkyrie Spit.
Hello, Odette C. Assassinated C. Ali Khamenei C. died 86 years C. Enemy C. USA and Israel C. Donald Trump and military and Air Force C. Donald Trump and all paid kill C. Iran now Odette.
Thank you, Valkyrie Spin C. paid Iran all kill C. Air Force and military C. Israel and USA C. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu update. C. Free Iran C. Trending C. Ali Khamenei C. Update C. Dragon Dick and Greedy Raven C. Magic S1 Clash of Clans now Valkyrie Spit.
Thank you, Odette Love C. Jillian Ward and Firecracker Ward and Queen Fatal and Anna Williams and Zed and Zeri and Quinton and Roseanne Park and Mama Pekka and Rhea Ripley and Piper now Odette.
See you next time, Valkyrie Spin C. Tyson C. Prime India C. Chinese players C. Top 1 Prime India C. Clan War League C. Trending Uzbekistan and 1 C. Geralata San C. Magic S1 Clash of Clans now Valkyrie Spit.
Thank you, Odette C. Tung Soccer and Bong Marco Soccer C. Death C. Tupac Shocker.
Oh, Odette Love C. Jillian Ward and Firecracker Ward now Odette.
Oh, Sokol already, now I'm hate you.
And I have now known this guy for 10 years almost. And I've watched him grow, and I've watched him advance, and I've watched him marry, and I've watched him be a father, and I've watched him manage younger people coming up behind him, and he's never disappointed. He has always been the guy you wanted him to be. And I think that, if you're the President of the United States and you find out that this is the guy who has been voted the most popular press secretary ever by the White House Press Corps, that may make you a little nervous. Just thinking, well, maybe the guy's kind of being too solicitous towards the press. But the fact is that he was worthy of that admiration. He was tough, and he didn't always give you guys everything you wanted, but he was always prepared. He was always courteous. He always tried to make sure that he could share with you as much of our thinking and our policy and our vision as possible, and tried to be as responsive as possible, and that's how he trained the rest of his team to be. Of the folks that I've had the great joy and pleasure of working with over the last 10 years on this incredible journey, this guy ranks as high as just about anybody I've worked with. He is not only a great press secretary, but more importantly, he is a really, really good man. And I'm really, really proud of him. So, Josh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Natalie and Walker, thanks for putting up with all of this, because they've made sacrifices too.
Thank you, sir.
Before you go, response to Vladimir Putin.
I'm going to feed it.
Where were you going on Friday?
Well, that was awfully generous. So the president will be back tomorrow. He'll be standing here, and he'll be answering your questions. Today, you're going to have to settle for me. So, Josh, you want to get us started?
Sure. Thanks, Josh. And I want to thank you and your team for your hard work and service in your roles. We've all tussled aggressively with you over the last many years, but that was as it should be. And you all continue to always engage with us, and we appreciated that. Following up on the question that was just asked, have the Obamas decided where they will be heading when they board the presidential aircraft for the final time on Friday?
Yes. Josh, I can tell you that the first family is looking forward to flying to Palm Springs, California on Friday. The president vowed to take his family to a destination that is warmer than Washington, D.C. On Friday, and Palm Springs fits the bill. This is a community that the president's visited on a number of occasions as President of the United States. He and his family have enjoyed the time they've spent there in the past, and they're looking to travel there on Friday. Looking forward to traveling there on Friday.
And President Putin today was accusing the Obama administration of spreading false information about the president-elect in an attempt to delegitimize his presidency, and said that those in this administration who did that were worse than prostitutes. Does the Obama administration have any comment on that?
Yeah, it's an interesting metaphor that he chose there. Listen, as I've said on a number of occasions, the men and women of the United States intelligence community are patriots. They are experts in
It was dusk, and the sun bled red over the city in Thailand as Chen brought me a sparkling water. A delicate, handsome, lovely young boy. A world of possibilities. But war is folly, and we can only unite by visiting these epochs of culture, where a man can be himself, smoke cigarettes, dress in gladiator clothing if he likes. We mustn't force our way and culture upon other peoples. Rather, breathe it in, become part of it. Maybe Hemingway was right about love. Maybe Freud was. We're all fighting inside to let a wild creature mate in the brain. I travel, therefore I am. This is a show that embraces culture from around the world. Let's take our first caller. Hello?
Yeah, I totally agree with you about Australia. And you're right, holy shit. Also, thinking of visiting Colombia. Do you have any recommendations?
Oh!
Because in boxing, unlike most sports, gravity works downwards.
You gotta be shitting me.
Hey, listen, Derek Thackeray, don't shit on no one. But I do like to piss on my seat, and at my seat too. Not really on it, so stay out of the way.
But tell me, the fight game, that ain't rigged, is it?
Of course not. Hey, how could anything professional be fake? Hey, there's too much money at stake for one thing. I mean, these guys got too much to lose. I mean, why is a guy gonna take a dive for a few extra million when he could earn that over a number of years getting his brain turned to pulp? Be serious for a minute. The clock is counting down again. It's time for Derek to head to the locker room and celebrate in the shower. We'll see you next time. Bring a cooler full of beers and get ready to riot. This has been the Tight End Zone.
Judge, I'm wearing a black dress on.
And this is WCTR, proving that radio is better than TV. That's the show men with large guts love.
Deal with your ignorance in 1 minute flat. Complex issues in 60 seconds. WCTR.
You have any idea what I'm doing?
Coming up next, the most mind-numbing thing since the lobotomy. Entertaining America.
The deceit. This week on Entertaining America, Richard Goblin, one man's triumphant return to cock. The Sherman octuplets, a Venturis man says he's slept with them all. Plus, noise, speed, danger, cursing, and patriotism finally come together this weekend at the All-America Drunk Driving Cup. Hi from Vinewood.
Their field. They do their work not because of the glory associated with it, because most of the time they have to keep their names secret. They don't do it for the big pay, because in many situations they could make a whole lot more money in the private sector. They do their important work to keep our country safe because they love this country. And they have served us incredibly well in keeping us safe. They have served President Obama enormously well. And this is not the first time that the intelligence community has had some uncomfortable things to say about Russia. These are the kinds of things that I'm sure the Russians would rather not hear. But ultimately, and this is something that the next administration is going to have to decide, there's a pretty stark divide here. On one side, you've got the men and women of the United States intelligence community. You've got Democrats in Congress. You've got Republicans in Congress who are concerned deeply about the way that the Russian apparatus sought to call into question the legitimacy and stability of our democracy. On the other side, you've got WikiLeaks and the Russians. And the incoming administration is going to have to decide which side they're going to come down on. And that will be among the very interesting things that all of you will be closely watching in the next week.
I was wondering, as you were reflecting over the last 8 years, whether you can identify the greatest achievement that you felt you were able to accomplish, and also the biggest regret that you have as you're leaving this part of your life.
Well, I think there are two things that come to mind. The first is that over the course of the 8 years that I've worked here in the White House, the President's communication team walked in this building at a time of dramatic change in the media environment, in the news business, thanks largely to advancements in technology. And updating and modernizing and capitalizing on those new opportunities was an important part of President Obama's success in the White House.
Oh, shit! Oh, well, I guess it was. Oh, okay, Billy, don't get around. Get up, boy. Get up, come on. Damn it, his brain is leaking. Help! Oh, there's only one thing to do. I gotta defend freedom. No time to cry, only time to die. Welcome to the land of freedom, bitches!
Who wants to hear about your problems? Hey, dude, that's show business, okay? It's about reality these days, not entertainment, okay? Because I gotta tell you, once you've flown first class, you know, it sucks to take the bus again.
Explosions.
Hanging from the trees. This accident is really cool.
WCTR.
That's why I got all these addictions. Bring back that vegetarian guy!
Hello?
Hey, it's me, Jonathan.
I don't know a Jonathan.
Yeah, that's the name they gave me at the orphanage after you put me up for adoption. How could you give me away?
Bring the family together again. San Andreas Telephone for those difficult conversations.
If you're into exploring exotic places and forbidden fruit, stay tuned. It's The Wild Traveler. Next.
Hello, I'm James Badiston, world traveler, and this is The Wild Traveler. From Peru to San Andreas in 8 days by balloon. Often while lounging around garden parties, we forget the brave workers worldwide who toil day and night for the products we consume. Some are even so dedicated to our happiness they carry products in balloons shoved inside themselves to be a balloon, floating, mesmerizing. We go to the phones. Yes, we do.
I can't believe you actually recommended we go to Barbados on our honeymoon. It was revolting. There were poor people. I live in Vinewood to be away from poor people.
Barbados is lovely.
Look, I want to be very clear. I'm not racist. Just careful.
Okay.
I like all-inclusive resorts where you can drink as much as you want, be around other people from San Andreas, and the only interaction you have with the locals is if you need a cocktail or some spice in the bedroom with your husband.
Well, that sounds lovely. With people like you, it's no wonder we don't bother curing cancer. Next caller, you're on The Wild Traveler.
Yeah, it's funny. You go on and on about other countries, but you live here. America rules, you commie. Eat me.
Well, we've been trying. Tom, you're on the line.
I'm so sick of England. Oh, let's go to the pub. They're all alcoholics. At least we drink a 24-pack in private instead of hanging out in some social setting making a fool of ourselves. People say it's so civilized in Europe. They got thousands of years of history. Well, I saw a movie about Europe once and I was disgusted. I mean, people still defecate in their living rooms and cover it up with dirt like a cat. You can't find a decent tartlet anywhere, or a good chicken wing. And the strippers? Overcharge.
Good Lord, you're Philistine. You should stay out of England. I hear there is a casino in Ventura's that is just like the rest of the world, only with better toilets and full of morons like you. Do you want culture or do you want safety? Your choice. Personally, I want irrigation of the colonic variety, but that's a whole different story, and it is early. Let's go to the phones. Who's on the phones? No one? Come on, call up. Anyone? It wouldn't be like this in Peru, I can tell you. There I once made a phone call with 30 boys sitting on my lap. Not because I paid them. They wanted to be there. Or in Mali, where nobody knows what a phone is, and a lot of people have never even heard of plastic surgery, or the Glory Hole theme park. There, the Glory Holes aren't theme parks, I can tell you. It's violent and bloody and authentic. What are you scared of? You wimps! Give me a call! Someone! Please! Hello, you're on Wild Traveler. Where are you?
I'm on a cliff.
How romantic.
I want to jump.
I know what you mean. Jump into the unknown. How can it be a sin if it feels good? Anyway, what's your question?
Why am I here?
I don't know. Why are you there? Where are you? Kenya?
No, I'm in Verdant Bluffs.
Loathsome place. I'd jump if I were you.
I want to go to hell.
Me too. Buy a refrigerator magnet when you get there. On with the show. Any callers? No? Okay, maybe I should hit the travelogue again. This is from my diary in Sri Lanka. For a few rupees a day, I have employed the services of a young man who has been my guide in pleasure as well as travel. There is something very exotic about it.
And I fight them by any means necessary.
Yeah, but you use drugs.
No, I'd rather die than use drugs. I use steroids and some recreational blow, but I got the funds for it. I got the money.
Yeah, don't you think you're just a little out of touch?
Whoa, yeah. I'm rich and I work in Vinewood, okay? I'm not out of touch. Action, weightlifting, and killing foreigners. That never goes out of style, Dex. My last film, okay, Loincloth, about a wrestler who's dropped into Thailand and I saved the world by teabagging the bad guys. That's a spiritual picture. That's love teabagging. That stuff ain't out of style.
Yeah, things are more sensitive now.
I was affected, all right, when Ho Chi got hurt and exploded. I mean, I thought it was time to do something, a film that made a difference.
Hey, but Ho Chi was a character. Exploder was a movie.
Right. And I was there, and I should have killed them all. Don't push me, Dex. I'll give you a war you won't believe. That look in your eye, right here, right now.
Okay, Jack. All I'm saying is, you launching missiles from a special wheelchair and killing innocent civilians is somewhat insensitive.
There's never any innocent civilians in life. If the Reds roll down the street right now, what are you gonna do?
It's about reality these days, not entertainment, okay? Because I gotta tell you, once you've flown first class, it sucks to take the bus again.
Explosion is hanging from the trees. This accident is really cool.
WCTR.
That's why I got all these addictions.
Bring back that vegetarian guy.
Hello?
Hey, it's me, Jonathan.
I don't know a Jonathan.
Yeah, that's the name they gave me at the orphanage after you put me up for adoption. How could you give me away?
Bring the family together again. San Andreas telephone for those difficult conversations.
If you're into exploring exotic places and forbidden fruit, stay tuned. It's The Wild Traveler. Next.
Hello, I'm James Padiston, World Traveler, and this is The Wild Traveler. From Peru to San Andreas in 8 days by balloon. Often while lounging around garden parties, we forget the brave workers worldwide who toil day and night for the products we consume. Some are even so dedicated to our happiness they carry products in balloons shoved inside themselves to be a balloon, floating, mesmerizing. We go to the phones. Yes, we do.
I can't believe you actually recommended we go to Barbados on our honeymoon. It was revolting. There were poor people. I live in Vinewood to be away from poor people.
Barbados is lovely.
Look, I want to be very clear. I'm not racist. Just careful.
Okay.
I like all-inclusive resorts where you can drink as much as you want, be around other people from San Andreas, and the only interaction you have with the locals is if you need a cocktail or some spice in the bedroom with your husband.
Well, that sounds lovely. With people like you, it's no wonder we don't bother curing cancer. Next caller, you're on The Wild Traveler.
Yeah, it's funny. You go on and on about other countries, but you live here. America rules, you commie. Eat me.
Well, we've been trying. Tom, you're on the line.
I'm so sick of England. Oh, let's go to the pub. They're all alcoholics. At least we drink a 24-pack in private instead of hanging out in some social setting making a fool of ourselves. People say it's so civilized in Europe. They got thousands of years of history. Well, I saw a movie about Europe once and I was disgusted. I mean, people still defecate in their living rooms and cover it up with dirt like a cat. You can't find a decent toilet anywhere. Or a good chicken wing. And the strippers? Overcharge.
Good Lord, you're Philistine. You should stay out of England. I hear there is a casino in Ventura's that is just like the rest of the world, only with better toilets and full of morons like you. Do you want culture or do you want safety? It's your choice. Personally, I want irrigation of the colonic variety, but that's a whole different story, and it is early. Let's go to the phones. Who's on the phones? No one. Come on, call up. Anyone? It wouldn't be like this in Peru, I can tell you. There I once made a phone call with 30 boys sitting on my lap. Not because I paid them. They wanted to be there. Or in Mali, where nobody knows what a phone is, and a lot of people have never even heard of plastic surgery, or the Glory Hole theme park. There, the Glory Holes aren't theme parks, I can tell you. It's violent and bloody and authentic. What are you scared of? You wimps! Give me a call! Someone! Please! Hello, you're on Wild Traveler. Where are you?
I'm on a cliff.
How romantic.
I want to jump.
I know what you mean. Jump into the unknown. How can it be a sin if it feels good? Anyway, what's your question?
Why am I here?
I don't know. Why are you there? Where are you? Kenya?
No, I'm in Verdant Bluffs.
Loathsome place. I'd jump if I were you.
I want to go to hell.
Me too. Buy a refrigerator magnet when you get there. On with the show. Any callers? No? Okay, maybe I should hit the travelogue again. This is from my diary in Sri Lanka. For a few rupees a day, I have employed the services of a young man who has been my guide in pleasure as well as travel. There is something very exotic about him. Avrinda. He could be a boy, but like many locals, in certain lights he looks just like a little girl. He is a real minx who knows exactly what he is doing to me. Oh, wrong page. Here we are. Avrinda took me deep into jungle, and there we took part in an ancient rite of passage for adolescents on the cusp of adulthood. We hunted each other in game very similar to the ancient games of Kiss Chase I used to play. No! Wrong page. Avrinda has left me. I'm broken. I thought I meant something, but it seems he would rather become a fisherman than follow me in an exotic life of degeneracy and narcotics as my houseboy. I hate myself. Why does this keep happening to me? Hell! Wrong bit again! Where's the page about watching the elephants mate, and it being really disturbing and making me slightly jealous for both parties? Hey! Has someone been stealing pages out of my journal? My producer is jealous. He keeps stealing my stuff and lending it to people. Just last week I heard him saying government agents wanted to look at it. What a load of trash. We have a call, finally.
I just want to tell people about a great holiday.
You mean vacation? We call it vacation. What is it? Searching for a yeti in the Himalayas? Learning to play an alpine horn? Hunting for pythons in Africa?
No, Canada.
But what about a young man to peel grapes? What about fine local herbs?
Hey, it's...
I cite this example because I think it's a good one, as you all consider the relationship that you're going to build with the incoming administration.